Yeah, Twitch should be going. Let me go to my dashboard over here. So YouTube should be live, Twitch is sending data, and Periscope should be live already. And it says I already have 2 people watching on Periscope. All right, this is a test, people. This is Elderofwoe. Hey, if you can hear my I don't even know what to call you anymore. Anyway. Yeah, it should be low. Yeah, it just went online. Yeah, there's about like a 2 to 10 second delay or something like that. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. Everything should be right there under on my Twitch page. They should be links for the YouTube and everything. Yeah. It it should literally be right there. Like it should they should have links that are built in. It's right there. I swear. Here, make it so difficult. Okay. It doesn't look like it posted to Facebook that I went live, so that didn't work. Periscope. Let's see. And as far as YouTube, you can just go to YouTube and search my name. I should be there. Watch live. I think this is what it is. Come on. Yeah, it's showing up on Periscope. Here's the Periscope. I did make you a mod. Yeah. There's Periscope. Yeah, the Facebook one, I don't think it worked because it was supposed to be an IFTTT. Would send the link for my live stream from Twitch to Facebook, which I don't get why it didn't work. It should have worked. Oh, everybody left on Periscope. I had 2 people jump on. That's peculiar. But yeah, well, I mean, I barely made the Periscope, so I wasn't expecting. All right. Well, I'm gonna play and let me know how it looks and everything. That's weird. I sent you the Periscope. Okay. Yeah. All right. And can you even hear? Can you hear yourself? Like, not even the game? I mean, I gotta check, man. I gotta make sure that this is working. No. Mm, I guess I don't have you low enough because it was cutting. Like it cuts you out enough for me to record, but I guess maybe not over this stream. Hmm. I, well, I guess I can't have you doing talking to you at the same time, but uh, that's fine. I mean, usually I don't have anybody on Discord while I'm streaming unless I'm having them check stuff like this, so it's fine. But other than that, the audio's looking good and everything. Just making sure. Let me see. Turn this up to about 20 blocks. We'll turn it up to about 30. Always keep that down. Ambient. Turn it up to 30. All right. So it's coming out everywhere then. It's coming out on YouTube and Twitch and Periscope. Oh, I mean, I don't have a whole bunch of freaking things, bro. There's a whole bunch of other ones, but I'd have to go set up like a whole bunch of different accounts, and I'm not exactly looking to do that. Like, and I didn't even see any on there that were like things that I recognized either. You know what I mean? A lot of the streaming ones that were there, no. Well, yeah, duh. And then the chat should be working. I see you on chat. Let me see if I can change that. Let me see if I can mod you over there. Uh, let's see. Stream. Where's your? Why isn't it showing up? No, no. I mean, like, yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to see my stream, but it's not showing my stream right now. It should show my chat. Interesting. Because it says connecting stream software to go live, but I'm already live. It says I'm live, but I don't see it streaming. But you said it was streaming. Maybe if I just go to YouTube directly. Check my channel. Oh yeah, see it shows it right there. That's weird. But you said it was streaming. Playthrough. Let's see. And let's see. Put this user in timeout. Add moderator. There, you're mod now. Yeah, I just did it right now. Yeah, everybody that's not there. Exactly. Uh, okay, I'm gonna stream for a while. If you just every once in a while just take a look at the stream, make sure it's still running good, and I'll talk with you in a bit. All right. All right, guys and gals. Sorry about that. This is the first time that I'm multi-streaming over YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. I was hoping that I could get it on Facebook as well, but apparently it just wouldn't work. Testing some stuff out, just trying to see how well I can get this going. Um, because when I started a live stream, it should have posted directly to my Facebook page as well, but I have to take a look at that. Um, what else? So, let's talk about what I've been working on. All right, I can actually let's make this a base tour kind of episode. It's a little easier that way, since I've never actually streamed on YouTube. This might be kind of you know different, and it'll kind of update y'all to where I am right now and what I'm working on currently, because of course I have episodes coming out every week, and I try and condense those to smaller portions. But if we start out in the main room, this is where my old storage was. I still have some junk in here, but I kind of use some of it every now and again. So I just leave it here. It's like food and books and stuff like that. I didn't feel like throwing it into my main storage. Just wasn't necessary. I still have a blacksmith workshop because occasionally I do still have to use this thing, which doesn't make sense to me. But hey, that's that. That's that. Over here we have our primary ore processing area. So I think I should have some ores down here. This is my void ore miner. And so let me just grab some iron ore. Something I have. And I have a ton of ores already, but just to show y'all. So I eventually have gonna have this automated to where everything's put in here, but the ore goes in there, gets tripled, and once it's tripled it gets turned into dirty dust, and once the dirty dust is cleaned it gets smelted and then taken back into the actual primary system, which is right here. So if I search iron, we'll see it going up right there. You see 8,699, 8,700, etc. These are my nuclear craft machines. The majority of the time I don't use them very much, but when I'm making iridium or I am making boosting mixture, these are my primary machines that I use. Boosting mixture is something that you don't have a whole ton of at the start of the game, but as you progress and you get to a certain point, you can make tons of this stuff, and it helps so much because it can all the way up to double the output of certain items in your assemblers and your alloy crafting machines. This is a little setup I have for when I need to process redstone and stuff like that. It's super simple. It's very manual right now. Again, I'll do the same thing that I'm going to do with the processing for the ores. I'll send the ores directly to this machine right here. The placer places the block, and then I have a controlled miner that mines the blocks. And right under that I have a vacuumulator connected to the main system, and all that redstone and whatever else I put in it gets processed and put into there. And so this way I get the maximum amount of resources from those ores. Okay, and so continuing this way, that's that section, and I have a couple of random things like an enchantment applicator, so if I want to apply enchantments to armor or anything like that, that's why I have mending 2 on everything and all that good stuff. I have these machines. Atomic Reconstructor, of course, I use for making the necessary items from actually additions to be combined in multiple things. So you use the emeretic and diamantine crystals and nori crystals for lots of stuff. So we use that for that, and I have it set up manually though. Eventually, I'll probably have it set up automatically, and then I have an electric compressor, circuit fabricator. Both of these are from Galactic Craft Core, and that's when you're doing space travel. I don't use them a whole ton, but they do come in handy. And then I also have a quantum compressor. Quantum compressor is used to make singularities of specific things, redstone singularities, and those things are used to make much higher tier items. So redstone singularities. So if we look at this, we can see it's used to make a flight environment, ring of the flying squid, creative flight modifier, black hole unit, and then the ultimate singularity. So stuff like that. I actually need to make one of these, which I will do at some point in time. But as I was talking about assemblers and stuff like that, so that's what you use to make CPU cores, EX2000s, data orbs, and so forth. These things, originally this was the way to make them. I get one. And the master assembler, I can get two. But with boosting mixture, I get three. And even though that doesn't sound like a lot, that is a lot for how hefty the components, how much they cost. It's pretty ridiculous. So I need three just for this neutron collector. I mean four for just this neutron collector. So it's a lot. Being able to create three at one time is awesome. So moving forward from here, we have a latex processing unit, which we also have a tree fluid extractor and some rubber wood that's being automatically placed. So it extracts the fluid latex. It's pushing it here. We get dry rubber. We can take the dry rubber out. And again, I can automate this, but I like having some manual processes because it's kind of nice to just have something to do when you're running around. And then from here, we can just turn this into dried rubber. And I can throw it into a furnace. Doesn't matter which one. I have quite a few of them sitting around, and this will automatically go into our system. And it makes us plastic sheets, and those are used in quite a few recipes as well. See, from there we move on to our enchantment extractor. So if there's an item that I see that I want the enchantment from, and I want to place it on a better item, I can just grab it. So we'll say Silk Touch, and I'll throw it in here, and it'll extract all of the enchantments. And I can either throw away the item, repair the item, or whatever the case might be, and I throw my books in here. So say I wanted to repair the item, I can actually come over to this side, and I have this powered anvil, and it uses energy to repair the axe. So if I wanted to make a diamond axe with a whole bunch of mods and make it pretty cool, then I can. I'll leave that in there, let it repair. What else? So got to the enchantments. I got a froster right here. And this is so I can make snowballs, ice, packed ice, etc. Whatever it is that I need to make at the time. And whenever I need to start it, I just start it and it'll start making for me. And it powers up and it makes one. And so I can leave it here and it'll make snowballs for me. I have plenty of energy. I'll go into that in a little bit. Thermionic fabricator. This is for making like electron tubes of different materials, and those are all used in different ways. We have our resourceful furnace, which you can smelt 3 items at a time. It's pretty good. I mean, I like using it every now and again, when I need to make a ton of glass or something like that. Double crusher if you need to crush more stuff. Another furnace. Yeah, I mean, if I need to do that. I also have a squeezer and a still, which I mainly use for making olive oil and stuff like that. It comes in handy. Sawmill for making more lumber. Compactor for making plates. I have an induction smelter, which I have set up with a pattern to create majestic dust, and majestic dust is one of the steps to make majestic ingots, which is another end game material that you need. See, pulverizer I use every now and again. I probably set this up to automate the pulverizing of certain objects such as black quartz. What else? And sorry if this is coming out kind of rough. I'm kind of just adjusting to streaming on 3 different platforms at a time, or at the same time. I was talking with my mod. He says that I need to see about adjusting the resolution. I might need to drop it down to 720. Y'all let me know if that's the case. If not, if it's coming out good, that's fine. But I would like your feedback. That'd be nice. I also have a centrifugal separator, another end game item that you'll need, and these are varying liquids that come out of it. So I've got syngas and xenon and dark magic dust, white magic dust, and essence of the gods. And everything that I process here automatically goes into this chest and then goes into the main system. So that's why I said I might set up some other stuff for automation here. I just haven't set it up yet. On this side, I have my primary machines that do a lot of my automated processing. So all my plates are actually made here at the compressor. And then if I need steel, it's made here in the blast furnace. Rolling machine is used for multiple recipes. So one of the things you could do with the rolling machine is you'd want more than one rolling machine for starters. And you would set the recipe and then you'd lock it in place. And that way, whenever materials are sent in, it would create an item for you. Let's see. I also have this electric furnace, which I use for multiple things, including processors, glass, circuit boards, multiple varieties of that. And then I have a second one here for if I need to add more recipes. And then I have a grinder. So if I need specific dust, because you use obsidian dust and stardust and all sorts, pulverized obsidian for multiple different crafts. So I have those set up, and some of those are used in these, like obsidian dust and pulverized obsidian dust and obsidianite dust for hardened glass. I can create sandy coal compound, etc. And that's another setup right there. And these are all my Tech Reborn machines, and honestly, these are some of the best machines that I have. They run the fastest, and I enjoy using them because it's quick. I don't have to wait around, and it does stacks of materials and at quite a speed. These are my more complicated machines that I have to use. So industrial centrifuge, chemical reactor, and industrial electrolyzer. And these take a base material, usually a dust or something of that nature. So if I come up here, I can actually show y'all. So I'll take sap and it'll create rubber, or I'll take dirt and it creates sand and gravel and clay. I can also, one of the primary ones here though, just to show y'all, would be where you at? So this one right here. Turning lapis into lazurite dust and small piles of pyrite and stuff like that. So these small piles are actually what you end up using. You have to combine them and do other stuff with them. But there's that. There's the red garnet dust. There's, let's see, basalt dust. Let's see. And the redstone. So you get silicon, pyrite, and ruby dust, and you can continue to process that stuff here. So that's where you put in, ruby dust and all sorts of stuff like that. See, and that's how you get chrome and aluminum early on. I also have a setup here. This is where I make all of my boosting mixture. And this material, you do need this material, but you don't need this material. So in the alchemic imbuer, you take raw boosting mixture and you create a refined boosting mixture, and that's what you use to create your boosting mixture application. So the one thing here though is, say you take it and you use something else. So if you have access to a lot of Lumix or a lot of Volium, you can create it. But one thing you have to remember is once you get to this, it triples it. So you go from 1,000 to 3,000 instead of 1,000 to 1,000 or 1,000 to 2,000. So the more efficient you can be, the better it is. Let's see, what else do I got? I have a couple of things over here from alchemistry. I don't use them too often, but they do come in handy, especially when I need certain items. So I'll use the chemical combiner there, plus the natural compounds that they're created from, so oxygen, beryllium, hydrogen, silicon, and you can use all of those to create different things. So now that we went through here, of course I have some manual stuff here. This is, this is for when I need mineral blocks and stuff like that, but it's not that important. Over here I have my lectern with my information on dragons and all that good stuff. So I already completed it. So if you want to look at like ice dragons, it tells you all the information there. But I leave my lectern in there. As far as information on other mods, I have this thing. It's called the Akashic Tome. You can right click it and you add books. Basically, you just take this book, you put it in with the other books, and it adds them into the library of books that you have. So I have pretty much everything I could need: alchemistry, astral sorcery, blood magic, so forth and so on. And it comes in handy, especially when you're either A, not adept at certain mods, or B, have never really gone in depth to them. Like me, I've played a little bit with blood magic, but I don't remember how to set up the rituals or anything like that. So it took me some time. Let's head up to the top. I'll go down to the bottom and go over everything there in a little bit. So up here we have our Empower. It's a pretty simple machine. This is something I need to automate. I just haven't. But when I want to do multiples of things, I do have Hopper set up, so I can just drop it, forget it, and it all gets processed and put over here. This is my basic decontamination unit. So when I go to space, I get radiation, and this is what I use to reduce the amount of radiation that I have. The only bad thing is you actually have to charge this with like a battery type thing. You can't actually plug it in, from what I understand. This is our primary energy source, so we use solar power. This one creates at max 8,000 FE a tick, which is similar to RF, and this one creates 2,000. So we have 10K going in and 10K going out, because each one of these can output 5.12. And then we have some lower level ones which eventually will be upgraded and will be producing even more energy. All of that feeds directly into our main system, and we also have a this guy is a wireless RF battery. Those connect to these little guys right here. They're wireless RF transmitters. So say I want to go somewhere random or on a different planet and I need energy. That is how I get my energy primarily. Pop down the machine, pop down one of those little wireless transmitters, and I get all the energy I need. Now, one thing you have to realize is there's the energy that you're transferring and the energy required to transfer the energy. That sounds weird, but there's RF energy in this specific case, plus the GP, which is the grid power energy. The grid power is created by a whole separate system, and it's a system that's in extra utilities too. Now, it's not hard to make, but it is something that you have to put some effort and materials into. Now, if we go right here to the front, these are a couple of more galactic core machines. These are for creating oxygen and filling up my oxygen tanks. This is my hard drives for my storage, and I have a fair amount of storage, so I'm not super worried there. This is my crafting grid, so if I want to craft in there, or if I want to craft on the fly, I can use it here. This is the control panel, so this is what connects everything, and it will tell me how much FE or RF that I am outputting at the time. I believe there's also a way to change what it shows, but either way, FE is roughly approximate to RF, if I remember correctly. So with everything connected right now, I'm outputting, or I need to be putting in 378 just to continue the system running. I have a fluid grid, but I haven't really used this much. Their fluid crafting seems kind of clunky. Not very adept at using it, but still, it seems very clunky to use. Here we can set up this is a pattern grid, so you can set up patterns. This is how we set up patterns, and this is the extreme pattern. But this is how we set up patterns for our crafters. The crafters are what do all of our little bit of crafting here and there. You know, there's tons of crafting in this specific pack, especially because you have extreme crafting. So you have 3x3, 7x7, 5x5, 9x9, and so it does take a while to get things made. This is our NASA workbench. This is for creating, not really creating the rockets, because this pack requires higher tiers of materials and larger amounts of crafting. So, but you can unlock certain things like the buggies and stuff like that and create those for when you go to space. So I have the buggy right here. We also have one for Mars, and this is our tier 2 rocket, which allows us to go to Mars. And this is our fuel loader, so this is where we put our fuel to fuel our rocket and we can head out. Spacesuit when we need to go, and if we ever need to change into the spacesuit, we just right click, just boop boop boop, a little higher, and now we're in our spacesuit. This is my regular armor though. This is the Dragon Steel armor. It's one of the better armors you can have, or one of the best armors you can have, defense wise. Let's see. Beyond that, let's see what else. What else can I show y'all about the base? So that's power. This is a simple little machine, but sometimes you need it. Fluid director dictionary convert. So there are cases when the fluids don't match up from different mods, and you need what is exactly the same from one mod, but it's just called something else with a different graphic, to be transformed into something else from a different mod. And so it makes sense to be able to do something like this. And they also have one for ores and everything like that when required. Now, what's left here? Let's see. I think, oh yeah, I have my original smeltery here, which takes some time to build. But this is, you know, for doing alloys and ores early on. You can pour them into molds, or I even have a setup over here if I need to make a whole bunch of clear glass. So I just, you know, say I want a whole bunch of clear glass, I'll just grab myself some sand, we'll throw in a couple of stacks, and throw it into our hopper or into our chest, depending on how many we're making. It starts melting, it'll start pulling out here. I just turn it on, and we'll get a whole bunch of clear glass into this chest. What else? We have, okay, so have it kind of covered right here, but this is stone, this is cobblestone, this is sand, this is gravel, and then we have wood and stuff over here. Okay, so these are all hooked up to igneous extruders. I have them set up with different augments. So for sand and gravel, you need these augments right here, the clastic deposition. Yeah. And that's how you create sand and gravel. And then the other two are just regular igneous extruders creating cobble and stone. But for stone, you actually have to continue to feed it water. Now, if you were making obsidian this way, you'd have to feed it both lava and water. But I have other ways to procure obsidian, which we'll cover in a little bit. The wood and sticks and everything here, I have access to, and I actually get it from these little bonsais. These bonsais create sticks and paper and string and leaves for me, and yeah, you know, and then I have access to all of that right here. I can just come in here and be like, I need some wood or whatever the case might be, and I have access to it because of these. Oh, slight bit of lag there. These external storage connectors. So the external storage connectors can connect to any storage and give you access to those items. Let's see. So up here I also have my astral sorcery area, and there's not a whole lot to click here. It's a fairly simple area. I have a couple of wands that I use for when I'm crafting right here, and then I also have an infusion, a starlight infuser right here, which is how I make lenses and stuff like that simply, and it uses the starlight that are in these pools to create those items. And then if you step in it, it actually gives you night vision, but it's not night. But we can turn it into night with this simple ritual right here. So imperfect ritual stone plus a lapis block. So we can click here and turn it to night. And so if we step in this, it gives us night vision. Makes it easier to see. Um, so these lenses help power our crafting right here. Another way to do that is to just go up higher, or there are quite a few ways to increase it. There are even some tools that allow you to find certain areas that have higher concentrations of starlight. Over here we have our attunement altars, so you can attune crystals and yourself to a specific constellation in the sky. And I could show you all that because I've done a little bit of building recently. So say we attuned ourselves already, which I did. You can come in here and you get perks depending on what kind of what constellation you attune yourself to. So me, I'm attuned to Avitus, and so I gain experience while I build things. Now you can probably come over here and attune yourself to other things. I can't click on these specifically, but if you wanted to come around and connect to it, you could. And you get other modifiers, so like this. So I can click that, and I'd get the points, 3% in increased effectiveness of perks, or I can get plants around you grow faster. I can get 4% increased effect, 15 increased effect of perks. Stepping up a single block seems way easier. You can get mining speed. You can get all sorts of stuff. And then if you need to get points back, there are items that you can use. You have to craft them, but you can use them to get points back and spend them somewhere else. So I forget where I was moving to actually. Empty gem socket. It's been a while since I looked at any of this, so 20%. 1% increased perk experience gained. But you can zoom out too if you need to take a further look. But yeah, stuff like this. It's pretty cool. I haven't played too much with Astral Sorcery, but it's pretty nice. And let's see how the stream's going. It seems to still be online everywhere. Working good. That's awesome. That's what I want to see. It looks like it's playing fine on YouTube from what I can see. And that's nice as well. And again, this is the first time I'm streaming on YouTube, so this is a bit different for me. And everything looks fine. Dungeons and Dragons. Yep. Okay, so we covered this area and that area. Oh, haven't done much with this, but there's this thing called a Celestial Gateway. Okay, so the Celestial Gateway, you have to make more than one to do this, but when you make them, you can actually look around and it'll be kind of like you're pointing at a star, and when you click it, there you go. You zoom off into the portal that you want to go to. So say you had a portal in a different world or on a different planet for that matter, you can easily do that. You can look up at it and you actually automatically transfer over to that planet. I plan on setting one up on the moon and on Mars, but I just haven't gotten around to it. What else? Let's go down to the basement so we can cover all of that. Or, you know what? Let's look at our farms. We can look at them from here. We don't need to go down. I promise you, it's not that complicated. So these machines are harvesters. And under the earth, I have planters. Same goes over there for the trees. They, have tons and tons of wood and stuff over there. Eventually, I'll probably have it all feed into directly into my system, or have it connected by external bus, just like I have these over here. So all of this stuff, it's most of this is essence of some type, and that's how I get a lot of my rare materials and stuff like that. This is a food set of crops, which I manually do, which was just for when I was doing the not achievements, but the quests in the food guide. I have a little set of water over there, which I have a automatic fisher basically in. and then I have a couple of traps right here. So I water trap and 2 land traps that get me meats and leathers and stuff like that when I put bait in them. Let's see. I have a couple of random trees that are there for when I need oils and stuff like that. I have a couple of beehives. I can get honey from there. I have cocoa beans growing. I have some berries, and then I have my little farms over here with my animals. They don't do too much, but hey, it is what it is. The it's nice to have them there, and it's nice to have the access to the meats and stuff. But I don't particularly do too much with them. Okay, so as I was saying, this is our void miner. The void miner grows as you go up in level. So this is a tier 3. A tier 1 is much smaller, takes up much less space, but it mines slower, and it actually costs more energy. Now, as you go up, of course, you need a bigger space. This guy, I'm probably going to end up running the power down and giving him his own little room and stuff like that, and automatically feeding the ores into the system, so that way I can just pull them out as needed. But right now I just have it feeding into this chest. So, if we look at void ore miner, so void ore. So if we look at a tier 1, it is actually quite expensive. These data storage circuits are quite expensive. Even though they're not super expensive, it is a little expensive, and you need litherite. Litherite is a bit more complicated to get. You need litherite crystals. To get litherite crystals, the first time when you make your miner, you need to do this recipe. Electrotine, flint and dust, which is cheap, but you also need diamonds. And a lot of them, because you have to make blocks. And each block requires 9 litherite. And you only get 4 per craft. So you go through quite a few diamonds. But I would recommend, as soon as you can make this guy, make it. The most expensive things here are literally that and the Osram and the diamond. Like you need a lot of diamonds for this. Like a whole ton of diamonds. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, so 8 blocks total. And you're basically doing like 3 crafts per. So it's kind of ridiculous. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 8 times what is 9. And that's 72 litherite crystals. 72 divided by 4 gives us 18 crafts. So that's 18 diamonds at least, plus another 18 diamonds for the blocks. So that's 36 diamonds that go into making this. Not to mention all the steel that you need. Which, once you start producing steel, it's really not all that bad. And if you set up multiple blast furnaces, it makes it a little easier. Silicon's easy. Interconnectors are actually pretty cheap. I think the most painful part is just making this stuff. Like, you can do black concrete. Black concrete's not that bad. It's still a pain. Or you can do the modified component, which I'd rather do the modified component. I have tons and tons and tons of iron, so. But early on, you might want to go with the concrete. It might be much cheaper for you. And you make the same amount. So, connectors, you still go through more iron. So it is kind of a easier way to go with the black concrete. Osram you have to get from the nether. So until you go to the nether, you're not going to get anything like this. You're not going to be able to get it because you have to process Osram. And again, Osram is only found in the nether, or if you have a void miner tier 3, you actually get it in here. Though it's very minimal. See, I have 3 of these, and by comparing them to other rare materials such as ovium, so I have basically double. So double the amount of ovium, double the amount of joxum, and this one's also pretty rare as Karmazine. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're playing. There's a lot in this pack. There's a lot that you have to understand when you play this pack. There's actually a little, it's like a tips and tricks guide. It's handy but not super handy. I'd recommend looking through it a little bit, but don't base your playthrough all around it, because there is a lot that has changed since from reading that to now. Okay, so the farms we had upstairs that give us essences all feed down here. I used to have a system that was powered by these oil generators. I don't use it anymore, but I've left it running just in case I need some extra power or whatever the case might be. I also have a system here, which I need to pull that out because that shouldn't be in there. This is what should be down here, because I have both of them feeding into this guy right here, compact drawer, which I'm debating just throwing the compact drawer over there and calling it good. Let's see. Alright, so the compacting drawer right here that I have is connected to both of these basic bins. Basic bins feed into the compacting drawer, creating blocks of inferium essence. The inferium essence is put into this autocrafter. The autocrafter then turns them into prudentium blocks. And then prudentium blocks are turned into intermedium blocks. Intermedium blocks are turned into supreme essence blocks, and then supremium after that. And then I can also have it eventually I'll either have a better crafter, or I'll take a secondary crafter and turn these supremium into insanium. I don't really need this essence. I'll just throw it in here. Okay, so all of the essences that I have planted up there get pushed down here. They get put into this storage, which again I'm probably just gonna tear it all down and have it auto packaged and turned into the proper materials. So most of them, let's see, we'll do 4. Most of them go in an 8x8, or not 8x8, but a 3x3 grid, and you need 8 materials and an empty slot in the center to create what you get at the end, which Terrasteel. Terrasteel is a high level one. You need insanium just to create the seed, and so it is, having that there is so much easier than actually creating Terrasteel by hand. Terrasteel by hand takes a whole separate process, and it is extremely long and painful, unless you get like a large amount of mono production going. And what is it called? I know the name. Not astral sorcery. Botania. So that's a Botania item, the Terrasteel, but this is a mystical agriculture item. So all of these are from mystical agriculture, and they make varying materials, so elementium and so forth and so on. I do this manually because I don't mind doing it manually. Again, it gives me something to do while I'm running around or waiting for things to process. I also have a concrete mixer down here, or a mixer period, and you can create concrete. It auto fills into here and gets pulled out. If I need salt, I can also do that. So say I want salt, I can whitelist salt, and it'll pull out a bunch of salt for me. So the dryer, just the water sits in the drying basin. Drying basin dries it out and turns into salt, gets pulled out. Not a big deal. Turn it off, I just take that out, and it won't pull it out anymore. Okay, what else do we have down here? So I have a metal press. Metal press is nice. I'm debating making 2 or 3 more and having them here and just using them for automated plates and other things like that, gears and so forth, just to have something kind of nice looking down here. Here we have our carpenters. Now, making your first carpenter is gonna be painful. Eventually you get to the point where I am, and you can, come over here and be like carpenter and craft one automatically. And this is all the materials that are required to make one carpenter. It's pretty ridiculous. But I have multiple carpenters because we use multiple liquids. So in this one we have lumium, in this one we have hydroxide, crystalline, destabilized redstone, silicon, and superglue. Now these two are the ones you're going to use the most for your basic components. Then you move on to the crystalline and the redstone. This is mainly used for making majestic ingots, and then the lumium is used for a couple of random things. So batteries and higher level impulse ducts and stuff like that. It's not used all the time. Also, it's used for making aquamarines early on when you don't have a way to reproduce aquamarines easily, as I do. So because I have this tier 3, I'm also getting aquamarines here. If we look through, we'll find them. Let's see, right here, aquamarine shale. We break it, we got aquamarines. So you can get 2 if you put them in a pulverizer. I actually get more because of my my pick. I can get 3 of them or more, in fact. Um, and here, this is where we melt down all the materials that go into here. So say I needed silicon. I can be like silicon. Um, so I can craft these up, and these each one of these is 1,000 millibuckets. So that's 1 bucket worth of silicon. So let's see, we need a little less than 50, so we'll go 49, right? No, we need less than that. My bad. We'll just put 40 in, just so we don't have anything clogging the system. So I'll throw it in here, and it automatically feeds over here. And we have all of these filtered and separated, so there's no mismatching. So even if this tank was to empty, it will not fill with anything but silicon. Let's see. Let's see other things. So if I come over here, there's the accumulator, and then over here in the back, I actually have a aqueous accumulator, and this is what's running liquid into our system over there. Down here, we actually have a way for. So if I check over here, I have a crafter to craft water buckets for me using a fluid transporter. I have extra energy here. This is just kind of to allow for power to flow into this system over here. So 1,000 RF a tick, and I mean it's more than enough for what these guys are really using. So maximum input is 1,100, and I only ever run one of these at a time, the majority of the time. Now, if I was to take this off and just run power directly from my main power, I have about, like I said, about 10,000 or so running through it, and it would have no trouble running all of these at the same time. But I don't need to, so I like having a little bit of extra stored energy at these points. Hey, what's going on, Yuki? Sorry, I got a little into it right here, explaining everything about what I'm doing. Also, I'm multi-streaming, so I don't know if I missed you that far ago. If I did, I'm sorry. Uh, just got super focused on explaining things. Eating jerky. Uh, but how you been? How have your streams been going, Yuki? You been doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing like a base walkthrough. I'm actually multi-streaming for the first time over YouTube, so I wanted to see how well it worked, and this was something that was easy that I can just kind of jump on and talk about everything that's in my base. And moving from the carpenters, server issues. Sorry to hear that, man. I know that can be a pain. Um, Moving on from the carpenters, we have our lava fabricator that feeds into our magma anvil and also into our advanced alloy smeltery. The advanced alloy smeltery allows for increased production of specific alloys, you get more from the crafts. So if we look in here, say we were to look at a simple one is Invar, but if we look in here for Invar, the majority of the time you're only going to get what you put in. So 1 nickel, 2 iron equals 3 Invar. Now if we go to the advanced and we look at down here, the basic one, still 2 iron, 1 nickel, but we get 4 Invar. If we use boosting mixture, it goes all the way up to 6. And that's the same concept behind the master assembler over here. Master assembler we use for much higher tier items, and it's how we can mass produce items that would normally cost us an arm and a leg, such as data orbs. Data orbs are extremely expensive. Going into what, boss? Oh, Magic the Gathering. Sorry, I couldn't see the text there. Yeah, I used to play Magic online. I haven't played it in a long time, but I used to play it all the time. One of my friends actually collects the cards in real life, and he's real cool. But he told me he spent a whole chunk of money on like a collector's deck or something like that. I was like, I have no idea. Like if you ask me specifics about the game, I probably couldn't tell you. But I've played it a couple of times. I enjoy playing the online version, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I'm using Restream to try and stream on multiple platforms, and it's interesting. That's probably what it was. Collector boxes. I have no idea, man. Like I don't collect the cards myself. I played other card games growing up, like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. But I never got into Magic the Gathering. I just never had people to play against. But I like playing it. I mean, I'll play any card game. I like playing board games too. I actually was playing Boss Monster the other day with my girlfriend, and it's kind of fun. It's real light and simple. Yeah, yeah, that's what he was telling me. Out here is our main magical area. We have access to the alchemy table. We have access to mana creation. We have set up over here with a couple of munch dews that feed our system when we need mana. Though all our pools are full right now. Um, and these mana spreaders, you actually start out with these basic mana spreaders, and eventually you move up to elven mana spreaders, and so forth. They get a little expensive, but it, as you go on, you of course improve, and the whole process for making TerraSteel involves this over here: TerraSteel agglomeration plate, and you have to supply it with diamonds and mana pearls or etc. It's really expensive. Sure. Um, I don't know how I have it set up. You can. I think you can post a link. I'm not 100%. I'd have to check the way the. Oh, it didn't come out. It's probably the. If nothing else, send me the link. PM me. I need to take a look at the settings on my bots. I'm trying to see if. Let me see. Where is this other one at? Thought I had it on. see, restream. Should have been on. Okay. Gotcha. That's cool. But yeah, like if you want, you can PM me and I'll check out the box. I actually have no idea about them myself. Oh, there it is. Let me go there. Okay, 134.84 Zencar Rising set booster display. That's cool. Like I wouldn't mind getting into it, but I mean I'd have to have more people to play against. You know what I mean? I have that one friend that collects, and that's about it. Makes it a little harder to get into playing a card game when you don't have people to play against. Oh. Back to game. Let's see, where did we leave off? So I covered that. Oh, walk through this room. I didn't even talk about it. So, in Dungeons and Dragons and Space Shuttles, eventually you will need syngas, and quite a bit of it if you want to use the Master Assembler 2K20. So to produce said syngas, you will require a set of machines from a mod called Rockhound Mod Chemistry. Now, I didn't find much on this mod myself, and I certainly didn't find a full setup of how to produce syngas. So I created this, and I actually I have it in one of my videos on how the process works and every step along the way. And you will need these power stations. The power stations are supposed to be able to use RF. However, I found that they are flawed and do not work properly when provided with RF. So you will have to go with hard fuels such as coal or lava. Let's see. All right, that's cool. That's cool, Yuki. And so the setup to create the syngas that we need, we actually start out with the power station, of course, because you have to provide power for this. A gang collector, 2 crushing tanks, and a sizer control. Need all of this to process blocks of charcoal or coal. And you get cracked coal. The cracked coal gets fed into a system over here, a slurry system, a slurry pond with water in it, and gets turned into cold slurry. Now, you can provide water however you want. I had this drum sitting around. I'm half tempted to empty it. Either way, it's sitting here. It feeds into the slurry pond. The slurry pond receives the water and the cracked coal and turns it into coal slurry. The coal slurry then proceeds up and into this machine called the gasifier canister, cistern, and under it is the gasifier burner. And these are 2 separate blocks, and you need both of them. Now, everything here is a multi-block structure, as you've seen over there. So this one, you have these 2 blocks, plus you have a particulate collector, which is where our harder items come out of, our solid items. Then in the back, we also have a gas pressurizer, power station, and the pressure vessel. This is where the gas originally goes. So the raw syngas goes here. It gets pushed into another pressure vessel, which is connected to a gas purifier, cyclone separator, and the top of the cyclone separator, which is connected to a gas pressurizer. another power station, and in the back we have our particulate collector and our pressure vessel, which is where our regular syngas goes. We then have to transpose the regular syngas to a so we can actually pull it out and put it into a tank to be used for other means in the pack. They have really cool blocks. Now, Rockhound mod is pretty cool, but there's really not much on the mod itself. Like the little bit of video that I was able to find, it didn't explain that much, and then a couple of them, of course, were in other languages. But I mean, I don't mind watching that, but it doesn't help me much. And none of them actually had the full process of getting to syngas. And so I in my videos, I actually made one specific about doing this whole process and how it works, and I let it run and everything. More or less. I mean, I get it. But it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I literally had to use so you can craft the Rockhound Chemistry Guide and Quest Book. Now, that is one thing I'm going to recommend to anybody watching this. If you do get into this mod, make sure to use the Rockhound Chemistry Quest Book and Guide. They will get you going, and it'll show you the full layout and how to set these machines up. If you do not know anything about this mod, make sure to get those ASAP, because it is not a light mod. It is not it is not the most simplistic mod, and you're supposed to use a whole lot of space for this. Now, the setup that I needed is just this. I mean, this is probably like a 7x9 footprint if I was to condense it, and that's all I need for my syngas production. That's really all I need from the pack myself. However, there are other packs that you do get other materials from this mod pack, and I highly recommend looking into it. But that's how we get our syngas for our assembler here. Yeah, the Rockhound mod is something else, man. I looked through it for a little bit and I was like, it's a lot of stuff. But the thing is for this pack, it is the only thing that you really need from it, as far as I can tell so far, mind you. I mean, I'm still not done with this pack, but the main thing you need is the syngas, and this is the setup that you need for it. So. Okay. Of course, we have our refined storage system kind of everywhere, connecting to everything. Let's see. So we've covered all 3 levels, and just to cover it, since we were talking about it earlier, I was talking about the generation of grid power. Grid power is easily generated by water mills. You can also get windmills and stuff like that. This is probably one of the easier ways to produce a fair amount. So I'm producing about 116 here, or maybe a little less than that, using these water mills. But that's more than enough for what I use it for. Down here is my mine. I also have a little trap right there for when I kill withers, and then all my portals to my different areas. So there's another. So I'll take y'all there just to let y'all see. Hopefully I don't die, because there's always enemies here. Constantly enemies in my way. Look at these guys. Ah, really? Back up. Always enemies in here. Can't get rid of them. Oh, he went to the other side. Whatever. More y'all. Get out of my base. Give me some blocks. Let's see. And this is why I keep spare blocks on me at all times. There. And dun, dun, dun. Light this place back up. And oh yeah, I gotta fill in the holes here. Bunch of jerks. There. That ought to do. Okay, so as I was saying, this is our little nether home away from home. The only reason I even have it blocked off like this is so that doesn't happen, but apparently they like to sneak into my portal somehow from, I guess, the caves or whatever, and make their way around. There's another nether area somewhere. I mean, I forget what they're called. Not a fortress. There you go. Fortress nearby. There's these guys, which I don't like getting near them, so I just use my laser. But this is pretty much where you get Osram from, and you see all those little spots where there's blocks. That's where you get all the Osram from. You have to go to those big old lava lakes and pull it out of there, and it's kind of a pain, to be honest. Makes it more of a pain with mobs like that that can give you wither and poison and everything. And these guys, they just rush you, so that's why I don't like getting near them. Golden hammer. Yeah, let's go in here. Make sure we don't get attacked. Let me get rid of this junk. Insight. Don't need any of this stuff, really. Okay, that looks fine. Pop all this in here. Pop that in there. What server do you play on anyways, Yuki? Just curious. And I'm not gonna bother going to the end portal because I don't have a base there, and then I always end up either dying or I have to like fend from, you know. Here, you know what? Here, we can go. Let me get my jetpack real quick. There's always enemies here. But this is the end. I mean, y'all have seen the end. I already killed the end dragon, so not worried about that. And that's good. I mean, if switching hosts help, then that's perfect. I know sometimes there are other issues though. And we get back right here. And that takes care of that. Let's switch our stuff back. Let's see. What else do I have to show off? I think that's more or less it. I appreciate you coming by, Yuki. Did the stream seem alright? Like from your viewing, as far as on Twitch? Like I said, I'm multi-streaming, so I'm just kind of trying to understand. All right. Yeah. So seems to be coming out good on YouTube as well, and Periscope. I was just hoping that it would come out. You know, it would be good. was hoping to get a little bit more feedback and see if more people would pop on since it's multiple platforms. But hey, this is the first time that I'm doing it like this, so that's that. Just having a couple of people come by and check it out was fine with me. Um, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a wrap. I was just doing like a tour, base tour kind of thing, and just to try and check everything out. So I've already been streaming for a good hour, I think. Anyhow, I'll probably be back on tomorrow though. I'll probably be back on tomorrow if you want to come by, Iki. I appreciate you coming by whenever you do. I know I've been streaming a lot of PoE. I don't know if you're really into watching that or not, but I enjoy playing it. It's really fun for me. Um, but I will be back, and I'm gonna try this multi-streaming thing again. Um, if you have any feedback, if you'd like to see anything, if you'd like to see a different game, any kind of gameplay style or builds or anything like that, please let me know. But until next time, this is Elderofwoe saying over and out.